So I say, now it's time for a whole systems macroscope. And Ralph Abraham had talked a number of years ago about an animated atlas. And a number of people were imagining the kinds of atlases where we could not just see things from different scales, but we could see things from humanity's activities as well. And we could see the evolution of life as well. And we could see this in a dynamic way. And now technology is sort of caught up. So what would a whole systems macroscope do? It'll allow us to rapidly understand the scope of climate change. Right now, the overarching problem we have is things are changing fast, and it's way bigger than us, but it involves us in many ways. We're kind of perpetuating certain things, and yet it's tied to much larger cycles of change. So I have 5 goals for this whole systems macroscope. 1, how can we visualize Earth as a living system of systems? 2, how can we use the art-science connection to show new patterns in the data? 3, how can we visualize longer historical arcs to create broader global narratives? 4, whole systems views will increase personal commitment, and it's personal commitment, I think, that is really the big thing here, is if everybody feels that every action they do matters, and they can see how it matters, we will be able to increase our efficacy as a species. And then 5, synchronized decision support with the convergence of these tools. We already have a lot of people synchronizing decision support, but we've got to do it at a much more rapid pace. So to visualize Earth as a living system of systems, Lovelock, father of Gaia theory, and E.O. Wilson, superorganism, and Lynn Margulis, symbiogenesis, all talk about we are really a superorganism. Earth is a pulsing living organism, and we are part of that organism. It's got immense biodiversity. Also eliminating humans' artificial borders by toggling from macroscope to nested ecosystem views down to the microscale. And then a larger homeostatic functioning could only be seen from this dynamic whole systems view. So let's just look at a brief history of visualizing Earth. Started out with the Earthrise, where we saw Earth for the first time, as I was saying. Shortly after that, 1972, Landsat satellite images of Earth's surface. We got a closer look at how beautiful Earth is. No boundaries, no people. It was an amazing reflection of this organism. Then Charles and Ray Eames in 77 went back to the 1957 cosmic view ideas of Kees Boeke, who talked about the universe in 40 leaps, and they created a film called Powers of 10. How many of us in this room were just profoundly impacted by Powers of 10? Quite a bit. And myself too. It's like one of those things that just blew your socks off, and you knew you had to see the world differently. Tom Van Sant went back to Bucky's geoscope idea and created a series of small geospheres that would go into museums, but he also created the first cloud-free map of Earth, of the real Earth, that appeared in 1990 on National Geographic. In 1997-99, Mark Aubin at SGI was trying to figure out how to use all this HPC, this high performance power that they had, and said, well, let's just do a Powers of 10 fly down. At the same time, Paul Hansen was creating what he called Ananta in the early years, the Sanskrit word for endless data, endless information, a visualization system that could give you this Powers of 10 of Earth. I'm going to follow both of those real quickly here. Keyhole was the one, and GeoFusion was the other. GeoFusion in 2001 to 2004 was doing actually far more interesting things than Keyhole was doing with regard to time sequences. Also with John Graham and Eric Frost's help at SDSU, immediate emergency response for the 2005 tsunami disaster. Google Earth was on the laptop. Paul showed GeoFusion on the laptop at UCSC before Keyhole was on the laptop. So really, truly, the first laptop Google Earth was GeoFusion on an IBM laptop. But Google Earth, or Google acquired Keyhole, and then things started really going out of control and in control by crowdsourcing, putting SketchUp on Google, Google Street View, putting it down onto your iPhone, allowing you to have anybody to create KML files, KMZ files, and releasing Latitude and Google Oceans, but Latitude where you can find all of your friends. But there's another player in this ball game. I forgot to say Whirlwind came out of NASA. That was an open source visualization environment, geovisualization environment. But Photosynth, Blaise Aguiarcos, I've been watching him for quite a few years with Photosynth, a whole new way of taking images taken by a number of different people and then bringing those into an environment where everywhere you look, it's a lot better than a 360-degree panorama, because these are bringing in things from numerous sources. So we're looking up here at Bing Maps. This is a Microsoft map program. We fly down to the wharf and down to where we are. Here we are right now. I think we're right here. I believe right there. And then right here is over, you can recognize this. This is Photosynth in the environment. And in February of this year, he showed the next gen of this kind of thing. He's combining, now that he's the chief architect of Bing Maps, he's connecting the map to zoomed views. Geocoded Flickr photos can be integrated with their photos, and so you got the street view just like you have with Google, but then your photos can go in there. Then he takes us down to Farmer's Market, and anything from Flickr that is open, Creative Commons open, can come inside this, and you can go inside and you can connect to real-time video from the inside. So again, we're looking at pattern languages. Aesthetics inspires the insight from this data. New data artists are using Ben Fry's processing to take us to new levels of looking at communication patterns. For instance, communication SMS messages on New Year's Eve in Amsterdam, flight paths, which was shown at MoMA, New York Talk Exchange, just showing these communication patterns. He is a crowdsourcer extraordinaire. So here is, here is his sheep market, where he brings 10,000 people drew sheeps looking left, and that turns into a large artwork. So he's proving the point that we can crowdsource this information, just like OpenStreetMaps and just like Google Earth and just like Photosynth, that we can expand our spatial and temporal constraints. Cab spotting by Stamen Design, Lisbon travel patterns, Britain from above. These are the air patterns of Britain from above about a year ago.